topic is just the basic of what is the uh, basic of about blockchain. When I talk about blockchain, I always say these are the new kids on the block. So it's something. Can
Do
you
you want
hear
to go ahead
me?
and share your screen for the slide deck?
Excuse me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but do you want to go ahead and share your slide deck on the screen?
How can I do that? Because I'm not very much
Oh,
good
okay.
in it.
Here, I can.
So,
How about I can share the screen for you then?
yeah, please, if you.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
I don't want to do anything which disconnect me.
All right. Let me pull that up. All right. Give me 1 second.
Okay, no problem.
Set a few things up. All right. Oops. Let me do this.
Okay, please.
Yep. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, I can see.
Perfect. Awesome. Let's do this. All righty. Let me know when you want to change
Okay.
the slides.
Okay. So, like I was talking about that today, as you know, all our topic is to just into a simple introduction to blockchain. Since this is a very new phenomena, and there are a lot of things are coming and upgrading, and technologies, uh, you know, contributing to blockchain. So uh, let me first define. Go to the next slide, please.
Mhm.
Yes. So basically, it is a digital. I want to say why they call blockchain. So basically, these are the information of block, and they are connected one block to another. As they create the new information, they are generating basically a new block of information. So we were doing this before manually, or on computer software. So we have like ledgers. So it that according to definition, it is basically a digital distributed ledgers, and I will tell them these makes the blocks and maintained by a network of multiple computing machines. So there are many computers or many devices are involved in that, and they are connecting all these blocks, and they have like multiple user of that at the same time, and everyone has their own copied, not their own, but their copied or duplicated information. So it stores data in form of blocks that are cryptographically secured and immutable. So we will talk about, you may be familiar with the word, of course, cryptography. Cryptographic mean they are secured and they are not changeable. So if you make any change, it is with the consensus of all the people who are in your network. So it is digital distributed ledgers, blocks maintained by a network of multiple computing machines. It stores data in form of blocks that are cryptographically secured and immutable. We will talk about immutability in the later slide. Please go to the next. Okay. I added one more slide. I will send you that sometime. Because I, I'm I wanted to explain everything. So digital. When we are saying digital, what is digitalization? So most of the student, most of you already knew about that. It is basically we are transferring all these information into digits, typically represented by the value of the physical quantity such as voltage or magnetic polarization. So basically, digitalization is about implementing a psychical dynamic where process and capabilities are constantly evolving based on input from the users. So like I told you in the beginning, the technology of digitalization is helping us to work on the blockchain. So we are converting, we were already digitalizing our information. So these uh, informations are in the digital form. So like you are watching this, I think this was the next slide. There's another slide before that. Yeah, this one. So when I was wanted to see that, when I did my bachelor in accounting, so we are very familiar with this ledger thing. So first thing we went in the class, they told us this is the ledger. So ledger is like a book of our other collection of financial accounting. So I put a picture of ledger, which we used to do when we were doing everything manual. So we are entering the entries into ledger. When any transactions were coming, we are credit and debit. You can see from this date description, then it is a reference, and then debit or credit, and then we are making the balance. So this was kind of information. Every transaction, when there is a transaction was happening, we were writing here manually, and then it become computerized, and then uh, now we reach to the point that every transaction is becoming like an information and a block in the blockchain. So the ledger provides a record of each transaction that takes place during the life of an operating company. A book for recording of the transaction is basically called ledger. So this was like simple ledger, and we went from here to, we there were a lot of transactions from here to blockchain, but I just jumping from simple ledger to blockchain. So this is the next, please, slide. So distributed ledgers, I try to, got a picture from Google, so to explain you that what it looks like. So a ledger of any transaction supported by a decentralized network from across many locations and people with no need of a central authority. So this is like a block 40, block 41. They're giving the number. Like I told you, any transaction which is happening is creating a new block, and new block and new, this information is for everyone. It is not like just a centralized thing. For all the people who are in that network can see the transaction. And of course, later on we will find out that these all transactions are happening with the consent of uh, all the people who are in the network. So a blockchain is a distributed ledger database. uh, most of you are familiar with the database. So it is a blockchain. A blockchain is a distributed uh, database. So first, in the companies, we have a centralized, still we have a centralized data, and because, and we secure it, because you know sometimes we have like informations which we don't want to share with the people. But here, in blockchain, transparency is very important, so everyone can see that data. Not everyone who is in the on that particular network can see your data, and if you are making any change or any things you are changing, they can observe it. And if they, if you and it will actually stop the tampering and any fraud or anything. So it is like very transparent, even though the identity of the people are, it is very secure. You cannot reach to those people, but you can see the people who are in the network can see that what is happening in that all this cycle. So the next slide, please. So I put so this is traditional ledger versus distributed ledger. So this is the traditional ledger is just the one paper, and we keep writing and we keep writing, and and then end of the a particular financial period, we just close our books and we start with the new books and keep those books in our stores, according to our need. Please, next. So, there's another name of distributed ledger is the shared ledgers. Like, because I told you that these are the shared ledger, and all the people who are involved in that transaction can see that. So a distributed ledger or shared ledger is a consensus of shared, synchronized, and replicated digital data. Like I told you, it is synchronized, it is replicated, and it is shared digital data. This data exists across multiple sites, institutions, or countries. So where their users are, you have access to that data. They have multiple sites, institutions, or countries. So it is helping us to improve our international business. It is creating more transparency, financial transparency, and as well as transactional transparency. What is happening, like in production, in basically, blockchain started for financial, but now we are using it also in supply chain. uh, so we can see what is happening to our order, and it's creating more transparency plus more visibility to the processes. So anything party is doing, B or C or D can see what is happening to their things. So with shared ledgers, there is no centralized data storage or center administrators. So like we used to have, still bank has this thing. One of the reason, banks, the traditional banks are against this uh, blockchain, because they are afraid that they might lose the authority, because they will be in blockchain. There is no center authority, so everyone has authority according to their share of, according to, they can handle their own account. So that way, maybe bank lose their authority. What their fear, and maybe they are right in that they are saying that there will be no bank in future, like, probably. uh, Please, next slide. So this is kind of a lengthy slide. So I wanted to put most of the characteristics of blockchain on one slide. So with distributed ledger technology, it is necessary to have peer-to-peer network and consensus algorithm. So we it is not like, uh, I have a picture in the later slides. So with the traditional, it is like one way or two ways, but here it is a network of multiple uh, users, and there's a connections with peer to peer, and all the network people who are in the network are connected among themselves with everyone. So they are necessary to make sure that there is a replication across nodes. So it is a replication, like I told you, all the information is for everyone has that information. Sometime when I was thinking about that, so one of the, maybe it is, in my opinion, maybe it is like too much data, because when you are replicating data for everyone, we are creating a lot of data, or maybe we need more space, or that, like, of course, this is my thinking, what I'm saying, but I'm not very technical, techni- technological savvy person, but uh, this is my observation. So a peer-to-peer network has no central server with lot of clients. All the computers are both server and client. So that first it was one server and we are using all, and there's the central things. But no, it is everyone. All the computers are becoming server. So one type of shared ledger design is the blockchain system. So and these systems can be either private or public. So when you create one system uh, for one system, for me, when I'm creating a system, I have all the people in that system to whom I'm connecting, or I'm doing business. or I'm interacting. So, however, not all shared ledger must imply a chain of blocks to achieve effective distributed consensus. So, these blockchains is just one type of data structure that we refer to as a distributed ledger. So, a blockchain is a list of records, and that is continuously growing. So, that was my. So, it is continuously growing. Of course, all the transactions are continuously growing, but when you are multiplying, if there is a 10 people, so your one transaction is multiplied by 10, so you are creating 10 time data. So we can record, we call these records blocks. Like I told you in the beginning, all these records are blocks, and we use cryptography to link and secure the blocks. So cryptography is helping us to chain those uh, blocks and make them secure, that it will be not attacked, uh, um, hacked, or break down. So each block contains a cryptographic hash. Now we will talk about the actual technology of the blocks that proceed it, that is a timestamp plus the transaction data. So we will talk about timestamp and what is the transaction data we know, but then we will make the a timestamp. Mean, in old times we were, when we are verifying something or when we want to make sure, we put a stamp on that. So same thing is same word technology, same terminology we are using here. Please go to the next slide. Okay, so what is cryptography and cryptographic hash? So cryptography is the science of protecting information by transforming it to in a secure format. You most of you know that. So the purpose of cryptography is the science of protecting information while we are transmitting from one place to another place and in a secure form, so no one can have access to that. An example of basic cryptography is a encrypted message in which letters are replaced by other characters. So it is coding basically. Simply it is coding. We code the thing, our messages in a codes, and then when it reaches to you, it is recoding. This is like traditional things. We are always doing this in a communication. So to decode the encrypted contents, you would need a grid or table that defines how the letters are transposed. It is like programmed, already there. So a cryptographic hash function in a algorithm that takes an arbitrary amount of data input, a credential, and produce a fixed size output of an unciphered coded text called a hash value, or just the hash. So the that and spurs text can then be stored instead of password itself and later used to verify the user. So what I see, and I try to give some example. Instead of having a password, we convert that. We have these pictures now, so we just transfer that information into a pictorial way, and then it again we decode into the uh, original message. So please, if you go to the next slide, see that how it is done. So this is the text and hash function and hash value. So we are giving the hash value to every transactions and creating a hash function. So please go to the next slide. So this is uh, cryptographic hash. So a tree, and this is a house. So we cryptographic hash we add to that, and this is becoming a coded message. Next slide, please. How a blockchain works. So these are like I found this picture is it looks very simple, and it's like simple transactions. So how blockchain works? A wants to send money to B. This is the transaction, and that the transaction is representing online as a block. The block is broadcast to every party in the network. So for example, I want to give this much money to this one. So uh, all the people with whom I am doing business, they will know that I'm sending some money to someone. So, I was reading, somewhere that, for example, I'm sending 100,000, but some other people know that I don't have 100,000. So this means I'm not saying right. I'm, just for this reason, this is creating also blockchain is also creating a protection to your other partners or your suppliers or your customers. So the transaction representing online as a block. The block is broadcast to every party in the network. Those in the network approve the transaction is valid. For example, if they say yes, he has the money and he doesn't owe us money, so he cannot. Sometime when we are transferring money, uh, you know even we are stealing money and sending to someone, or money laundering. So I help these all blockchain will help us to stop this kind of transactions. So the block then can be added to chain, which provides an indelible and transparent record of the transaction. The money moves from A to B. So it is simple. Only thing which is added, that other people also know what is going on who are in the system. So if our character, our debtor, banks, so all people who are involved in this, things, this transaction will know what is going on. So it is like a very open kind of a transaction. Of course, not for everyone. And there's another, I read somewhere that there, it is like maybe blockchain can, have a issue of privacy, maybe, but people think it is not, but some people say maybe it has. Uh, so some unique feature of blockchain after this transaction example, I will give you that it is like it is kind of repetition which we are already discussed. Decentralized documents or data, no third party involved. Yes, we are going peer to peer, like I said, direct. So transparency with secure identity, and immutability is mean not suspectable to change. So it is not. It has a ability that no one can change anything, or rewrite, like we can do it some places, or some, even though we know that there are some software, especially in counting. I have some Oracle or other thing, so they have a trail of change. So, but here you cannot do any change. So centralized data or document, what does that? What does that mean is it is no single server where entire information is stored, unlike the current internet system. So there's no single server where entire information is stored, like currently we have like that. The data is saved as copies in different computers called nodes, blockchain world, and there is no central authority supervising anything. I already discussed with this, but just I'm going through again. These computers are connected to blockchain network. So due to these distributed copies of data transaction, blockchain is also known as the distributed data ledgers. So please go to, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't ask you to go to the next slide. I'm sorry. I think I skipped two. Go to the next one. Okay. Uh, so sorry, I'm in the flow. I forgot that because I'm sorry again.
No worries.
So this is, pardon?
Oh, I just said you're all good. No worries.
Okay. Then next slide, go to the next slide, please. Okay, so no third party involved, like we already told you, is a peer-to-peer. So it is, sometime I write or things that, you have idea that what I have said, because these presentations are also in sometime for my students. So so no third party involved. Blockchain provides such as a transparent environment that one need not to have a third party to mediate or enhance trust between two parties involved in transactions. So like I already told you, it is like one to one, and no third parties involved. It is not transaction that first, I'm telling my bank, and bank is giving money to my customer or my supplier. So it is like I'm giving direct to that So this will create a better transparency and like I already told you, for this reason banks are afraid that maybe the one day will come that people will not don't need them. Uh, the next is, please go to the next, transparency with secure identity. Uh, the identity of parties involved in a transaction is hidden by a complex cryptography and represented only by their public address code. While the identity is secure, all the transactions that carried out by public addresses are accessible, which I already discussed in the previous. This level of transparency enhances trust in system while securing the privacy. So, we are like it is a double-edged thing. So we have to be transparent, and as well as we have to securing the privacy, like I told you, because sometimes some people are saying that it is so transparent that maybe we might or we may compromise our privacy. So but still it is and I hope this system will not compromise our privacy, even, but if maybe improve our privacy, and same time improve the transparency, and we the to people who we are, like in our real life, if we want to make a friendship or relationship with someone, so we should be transparent. We shouldn't hide. We have a intimate uh, relationship. So when there's a intimate, I wrote somewhere, when you have intimate relationship, I think you don't need privacy. Maybe, this is my saying, maybe that is different. It is like a philosophical concept that when you need a transparent relationship, if you are believing in transparent relationship, then privacy is like secondary matter. But again, it depends from it depend on people, person to person. Please go to next slide. uh, Immutability is not susceptible to change. That is the, so a data enter into blockchain cannot be modified or tampered with within the future. So maybe in some next things we will talk about that. When we are especially supply chain and global supply chain, and especially in medicines and in very expensive things, uh, blockchain is becoming very important, because in these things there are a lot of tampering and a lot of modifying things, and especially in third world countries, is becoming like you are asking for something else, and your supplier is giving you something else, or in the during the transportation it is tempered, or change the things what you are asking. And I was like even reading an example of diamonds, coming from the coming from the far away. So you know you don't know, maybe it is a real diamond or it is a you know it's like fake or counterfeit. So this immutability features of blockchain has made it so popular that it's being explored in the all sector, where data integrity and data protection is of all utmost importance. Like I explained you, where the data and where the things are. Even few days back someone asked me, so I'm doing on that too. So the use of the blockchain in food supply chain. So how we keep the food supply chain pure and without any tampering. So there are many use of blockchain. uh, I added one slide of what which companies are using for what purpose this blockchain. Please next slide. So basic structure of blockchain is a process of passing information from stage one to stage two in a process which take place in a fully automated and safe environment. The next slide, please. Here I try to put like let's go to this. Skip the two slides, so then we come back, please. Next one. Okay, so I wanted to have a comparison because sometime question is come that what is the difference about from the current or traditional server network and the blockchain network. So I put these pictures and I try to be try to differentiate how so this picture parallel pictures if you see those two pictures you can figure out that what is the main difference or how it looks uh, from current or traditional way of networking, server networking, as compared to blockchain network. So like, and most of the things we already discussed. So data is stored in single servers, data is stored in single servers, that is decentralized. It is not stored in a single place. So then end users or the set of end users connected to this server can access to this data. But their data is stored by several, maybe millions of computer linked together in blockchain network, and everyone can have access to that. That's their data. So data, if access, can be easily modified, tampered in this server, but here, because everyone has, so, and data is cryptographically stored inside blockchain, and uh, it cannot be changed. Then single service is prone to hacking. Yeah, this is another thing I want, because it, advantage is that if one of your computer is hacked or something happens, so it is not, this data is not stored only on one place, it is stored on the multiple uh, multi locations. So this is every participant is then in the network access the history of the transaction. So this is like a two comparison of current system or traditional system and the blockchain where we are going toward. So the previous two slides, this is like the same slides but individually. uh, so if you go to the next slide, please. Okay. uh, So top 10 companies that have already adopted blockchain, because I wanted to say that it is just, we are not just talking, it is already adopted by, so FedEx, is a courier service to track high value cargo. So it's not using for everyone, but high value, like I already told you, it is, they have started with the transaction, which have like high value, including, you know, amount wise. Uh, then Burger King in Russia reward program. What is that reward program? Is that uh, every time you buy something, you add one transaction in your blockchain, and then like you are in US. If you buy three burger, the fourth one will be free, or if you buy two, and the third one will be 50%. So these are all reward programs are also they're also adopted in the blockchain. Then there's a Kick, online chat platforms, Kick, and this is like in cryptocurrencies also. When I was blockchain, this is not my expertise. I'm still learning about these currency things. IBM, that Hyperledger blockchain creator tool that you know like they can have all this information in the blocks. Walmart for tracking food globally. I already explained to you about food things. Then Microsoft accepting by Bitcoin payments on its website. Then Overstock.com. Lets users purchase all the items on their website using Bitcoin. Mastercard building their own blockchain-based payment gateways. So this is another huge network is coming up, because credit card you are using all over the places, and information will be scattered all over the places. So then Hawaii technology to reduce fraud and trickery. Bank of America to use open source ledgers to create more efficient financial transaction for consumer and the business. Please next. So that's it. Uh, this was a small presentation I prepared for you, and I since again I will tell you one thing. It is a very for a lot of people, it is very new and it is evolving every day. So this is the, I found, because there's so much information, it is there, but I was thinking that is for the basic, for the who are just entering into the world of blockchain, have this is the enough information. I hope you have some understanding of blockchain now, and if I don't know what is the next. Yes. Hello.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I hope I didn't make you boredom for you guys. I try to be short and try to be a simple of informations, and the presenting in a simple way. So I like I told you.
So I have a question.
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks.
I have a question.
You have a question?
Yeah. So how you see blockchain in the future? Is it limited to just finance, like Bitcoin or something like that, and technology,
No, I
or
will. I understand. No, like I explained to you, because my expertise, I am like my specialty is supply chain management. So for this reason, I'm not a banker. I'm not a finance guy person. But I'm, because I think it has a application or usage in all industries, pharmaceutical, food industry, even diamond industry, all the things it has. And when it is becoming so popular, so maybe right now, maybe it's more, maybe a little bit expensive or things like that, but it will use for everything, and basically it is IoT, Internet of Things. When we are every piece of this world, one day will come, every piece of this world will become like a Internet of Things, it will be connected through internet, and internet, of course, computers. So, and this blockchain, it this will be a way, a tool to link the things, and we will be linking with everyone. It depends on, maybe in your life, you guys are young, so maybe we will be everything, including my watch, my computer, my car, everything will be connected, and everything I'm doing is they're creating data. And like, for example, I'm driving a car, so all my car information is going to the manufacturer. So any problem I have, they are getting it, and then they are fixing that things, and in the next product. So for marketing, even marketing purposes, blockchain for new product development, it is very important for marketing research, or even in to reaching the people. So all these, I know you are familiar with the big data. So basically it is creating so much, it is we are creating so much data that, and only you know it is a ocean of, and blockchain is connecting us. So it is not just I don't, I'm very um, I'm very positive that it will be not only for this financial, but maybe it will start with the financial, but it's already using in the, like I gave you the example for this season, I put that. So examples of the different US companies are using it for different purposes.
okay, yeah.
I hope.
So how you have you think about like how long will it takes to become common in the world, or just in the
It
US
is
or
already in
in
the world.
India?
See, it is already in the world, and I think it will be spread very rapidly. And its uses becoming more and more, and you know, many companies are already adopting it. It depends on, everything is, if you feel the utility of things, then you will invest, because there's investment in that. So, and connectivity, So I think it is like internet. It is going like the speed of internet. Yesterday I was reading I was looking some data about China or about India or about USA. So percentage, as the people, a high percentage are keep using that, especially see when if you are doing buying things on online. So blockchain will help you also in that like I told you, about tempering and about things like that. So I'm very I'm not saying hopeful, because it's not depend on my hope. So it is my prediction kind of thing that it will be, you know, many companies are already in that, and they are going to adopt this blockchain.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. So any other question? Because yes, I okay, go ahead, please.
So I've actually been following like Bitcoin probably since I was 12 years old now, and I was curious, is there any examples of companies in the world right now using blockchain for file transparency? So like an example would be like a
Yeah,
PDF.
I already give you one of the example, like in the, what is that? MasterCard is using, they are building their own blockchain-based payment gateways, and Overstock.com is using like for payment of and the Microsoft. So these are the few of the examples of using blockchain in a practical, and they are in practice. It's not, I
All right.
maybe I understood you wrongly, but you are thinking that it is just a scientific thing, or just a technology, not a common technology.
No. Let me clarify. So like, let's say more like complicated data, like audio files or video files.
Well, I mean, do you think it is more complicated? It looks more complicated right now, but as for this reason, in my opinion, there are like two, three major differences. Are one is like it is peer to peer. It's creating more copies of same information, so everyone has the copy of that. Then it is the way the informations are processed are generated, in my opinion, as compared to the current system. So the only fear, only my observation is that maybe we are creating too much data.
Yeah, for sure, that's a problem in tech.
Yeah, that's my fear is. And number two is like I read somewhere that maybe it is compromising somewhere your privacy, but like then I give you a philosophical explanation to that. If, for example, if I want to talk with you, I want to have someone with relations, so I have to tell them what I am.
Yeah.
So
Honesty is the best way, right?
yeah, right. This is philosophy, but some people, maybe I and you believe in honesty. Some people, So blockchain will help lot of people to help that they will not get cheated. This is another way to put the things.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
So and I was reading, that it will increase international uh, trade, international business, because one of the major obstacle in the international business is that we don't know each other. I worked my whole life in global supply chain, so it was very hard to find good supplier, and and our all supply chain pipe, should be tamper free. So and then these all things were problems, and I'm thinking that blockchain through internet of things will solve these issues, uh, and later on I don't know about the cost aspect of this blockchain, but I have to do more research that if like, there was a previous question that it is more costly than the current system because, and I don't think it will be more costly. Maybe, we are saving a lot of the transaction fees. I read somewhere when I was reading that blockchain will help us to, and storage places. Internet is already, we are going from brick to click, so it's already saving us a lot of things. Business is becoming uh, mm, uh, a little bit more economical, and we are spreading all over the places through internet, and then it helping. The blockchain is also, the blockchain is basically is a transaction recorder. So it is the recording of the things from where we can see that it it is not tempered. It is accessible. I feel confidence that this information is correct. So these things will help people to uh, adopt this technology or this way of doing business or transactions.
Is it possible to build blockchain centralized?
I think the purpose of blockchain, is not a centralized thing. It is like everyone is the king, everyone is the master. When we started uh, learning computers, so they told us this computer is the master and this is the slave. So I don't think no one is slave anymore. Everyone is master in blockchain. This is the way I can put that.
What I was thinking is like if a company that uses their data centralized and doesn't give access to their users, what if they adopted blockchain and they gave access to all the users to the data, so they had transparency
You
with
know,
access to the data, but they had the data centralized.
that is, see that, you can there's a I also know system designer, so some data, you can, but when you are giving access, it is when, for example, when you are doing a transaction, then what happens? For example, as a bank, like you gave the example, when I'm taking money out of your bank, out of from my account, so I have also that information, and the bank has already the information. So data is coming to me. So I am handling the data of my account myself. That is what I understand from this. And going back to your question, uh, you know, we are already doing that. We have different kind of data. Some data we can share with people, some data we don't share with the people. I was working on Oracle, so we have limits. We have a Oracle system from all our supplier to us and then all our customers, but they have walls, how much, even for employees, so what kind of information then they can share, and what kind of information they cannot share. So we can make the systems like that too. So I'm just saying that this
I,
is the
I was just thinking there might be benefit to the blockchain ledger, still
yes.
in a centralized way.
Yeah, this is because, see, this sometimes we are very conservative. So again, it is our confidence level that sometimes we think no, like, yeah, like I gave you the example, not example, I mentioned you. Some people have concern like you. I know what is your back of the mind, what you are saying like this, that because sharing data with everyone might be not very good thing, because, and again, and I agree with you, people will come with the things, they try to break this thing, and you are afraid to sharing the data. So it could be, maybe you are not going to adopt blockchain in this shape. Maybe you will modify it or tailor made your own blockchain system.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
So I think I'm almost in my time to go because I have to go, physically somewhere to give my lecture.
Okay.
So please, you can ask any question. You can ask your moderators, and I can answer you later on. If feel free to ask me any question, and if I will not find the answer right away, I can do research. And I was thinking to go some companies to who are using in Pakistan using blockchain. So technology, especially, I have found one company which is like a financial company. So I want to see that is a public charter accountant company. So how they do that. So maybe we will share those information later on with any next